Hello and welcome everybody to session 10 of my Pillars of Eternity Lorethrough White March edition. We are currently in Durgan's Battery, the actual building, not the area on the map. We can see that we started exploring it last session. Here we have the entrance. Over here is a feast hall where we have been treated to a few scenes with spirits playing out. Here in the war room, the commandants, as they're called, were all arguing about what they were doing here. Some of the leaders said that we're dwarves, we're supposed to be adventuring, we're supposed to be exploring, but we're stuck in this building. And some of them were happy to be stuck in this building because it was such a fortress and because they were able to make money from the weapons they were selling from being here. So there was a kind of conflict that was brewing amongst the leadership. And then when we were in this feast hall here, we heard people kind of taking sides, talking about who they believed was correct and all that. So we see the seeds of conflict beginning to grow, which probably has something to do with what caused the downfall of Durgan's battery. And we see there's a lot of destruction here. Some walls are broken down, that kind of thing. We kept hearing voices when we came to all the doors that were telling us to turn back. And then when we got to this door in the far right corner here, we actually spoke to the spirit of Maroon, who was I think she was the arms master or something. I could be wrong about that. And we convinced her to open the door for us here. Before we head here, though, I want to check out these stairs, see what they're all about. We also found a helmet in this armory, and we saw a vision of a father. I think it was a father and his daughter trying to like stave off a beast that was on the outside of the door. The daughter was able to escape, and we don't know what happened to the other man yet. So let's get started. Head over to these stairs first and then see where we go from there.
All right then.
So this is just outside. An upper section of the side of the tower has crumbled, blocking access within. Minor gauntlets of accuracy and scroll of missile barrage.
I'll take a look.
Nothing much up here. Just a view of the battery. Actually, let's take a look at that. This is the battery itself in the upper left corner here. You can see where my characters are. This was the entrance. We see that it's kind of built into the side of the mountain here, which is pretty cool. Probably makes it pretty sturdy as well. All right, time to go to the next section.
Slow and silent.
So continue past the mines. So we're in the mines right now. I found a level that appears to have been a mining hub at one point. Like the rest of Durgan's battery, it looks deserted now, so I'll have to keep searching. You hear some screams.
We can't hold them off!
Fall back!
Let's see if there were names. Nope, they were just spirits there. Didn't have names attached to them. Something heavy broke through the railing and gouged a chunk out of the bridge. Heat ripples and rises from grate-covered hallways below you. Same thing. Alright, let's go take these guys out. Are they gonna fight us too? What's Kana doing? Does Kana not have his gun equipped? No, why was he doing that? Maybe that was too far away. Battery siren, huh? Wonder if that's like a Chenguilla.
Not even throwing a town.
Let's see if we have an entry for the battery siren. Oh yeah, we do, okay. So let's see, sirens are believed to be manifestations of essence drawn together by some fervent longing or desire imprinted by its former host. They are commonly associated with the sea and with Andra, as many stories of sirens entail navigational mishaps thought to have been caused by their irresistible call. In truth, however, sirens can be found anywhere the right conditions arise, and they are less dangerous for their call than they are for their ear-splitting shriek. They are said to most often take the shape of an alluring woman, regardless of the identity of the person or people who surrounded the essence, and the reasons for this are uncertain, though the most popular theory suggests that this was once a preference of Andra. So, unlike, I don't think the Chinguillas have a link to Andra. No, they don't. So unlike the Chinguillas, these sirens, they act in the same way. They take the form of women, and they scream like the Chinguillas do. But it seems like they have some kind of connection with Andra, actually, which would make sense for this expansion in this area.
Not a sound.
Every bone in the skeleton has been snapped in 2 or more places.
They're coming! To the mines!
A simple test.
It's the workshop. So something was attacking these dwarves. And they retreated to the mines to get away from whatever that thing was.
A simple test. Settled.
Shattered skeletons lie prostrate before the shrine. Swords and helms have been laid at the feet of this statue. So this statue of Abaddon is like a shrine of sorts.
Don't look back!
Keep running!
Heat from the level below prickles your skin.
Out of my way!
Seems like some of these dwarves were kind of like running over each other in an effort to get away from whatever was coming. Something burns beneath you, but you can't see what. I haven't used this yet.
Can't get a good shot with this.
Don't really need to take a rest yet.
Now this I haven't seen before.
Got some more Durgan iron ingots.
They're coming over the barricade!
What could have broken through this?
So whatever happened here, whatever attacked them, was strong enough to break this whole thing down. And it seemed like it was doing the same thing in the area before.
Losing ground!
It just says workshop. I looked at that already. Who sees me? The wall has been smashed into great jagged shards. Skeletons lie crushed beneath enormous stone slabs. Only a few bones protrude from the rubble, and they've been broken like twigs. Many of these bones have been ground into grit. I wonder why these are green? Huh. So it seems like these batteries, they're treating us like we were whoever the was intruding however many years ago, 200 years ago or something.
That's it!
Leave it to me! I shall be discreet.
Many of these bones have been ground into grit.
Hold them off! Move!
Hubbardson's gears. They're coming!
Sigil of the Helm. So this might be the second part of the helm that we have here. It says carvings on one side of this stone disc depict a helm. On its back, a single protrusion pokes out from its expertly polished surface. So, do a little quick save here. See if the same thing happens. Nope. I was wondering if there was going to be a vision there, but I guess there wasn't. I haven't looked up these bitter spirits. Let's see if there is an entry for them. It's Belser. We fought Belser in Galvino's basement. He was trapped in the gun. So I was wondering if there was maybe a separate entry for him, but I guess there's not. Oh yeah, we do have an entry here. So let's read this. This is the bitter spirit. Spite is among the most enduring of negative emotions. Hatred often cools over time. Sadness surrenders to acceptance. But the indignation brought about by cruelty, injustice, or even simple annoyance can affect the spirit and survive even beyond death. So it is with bitter spirits, which exist as little more than an amalgam of resentful instincts, inclined to lash out at anyone they perceive and unsatisfied until their victim has suffered and died. Bitter spirits is also the name of a homebrewed liquor popular in the rural areas of northern Deerwood. It can be described in much the same terms. So yeah, these bitter spirits seem to just be like soul energy, soul essence that has... Basically, it's only an emotion, and that emotion is lashing out at anything.
I'm on the trail.
The iron and copper deposits are splattered with blood. So we're actually in the mines proper over here, I think. I think I've seen it do that before. Oh, got a little ambush going here, huh?
I'm here.
Leave it to me!
White leaf. They were doing the white leaf. Rock chokes the tunnel mouth as if it caved in or was purposely collapsed some time ago.
We're outnumbered!
hear that?
Are they hiding in here? This is Erasmer's letter. I don't think we've heard that name yet. Something was hastily scrawled across this page. It reads, Floro, we're trapped here, but I take heart in knowing you're safe below. When this ends, take whatever you can carry and leave for Fort Bonepicker at once. Take our nephew if you can. It's not safe here. Keep this with you. Your love, Erasmer. The other side looks like a poem, but it's obscured with dirt. So maybe this person never got a chance to give this letter. The iron and copper deposits are spattered with blood. I already read that.
Are we safe here?
Quiet.
So yeah, people were hiding out here, kind of waiting it out. These spirits are lingering, maybe just because they're not running away, but I wonder why that is.
You're not good. Laying low.
Girdle of Jotun Constitution. I think we've read that before.
Hurry! We can hide here!
They're going to come for us here, and...
Once again, they're lingering. The dwarf's remains lie on the floor, covered in dirt and swathed in cobwebs. Essence drifts nearby, hanging in the stale air like dust motes. Search the body. A key glints in the dirt next to the corpse's femur. As you examine it, the nearby spirits grow restless, growling and fidgeting. Reach out to the essence. Feel like if I take the key, they're going to attack me, so maybe I can stop that from happening. It takes a little additional effort, but you manage to gather the floating essence to you. You work your way into it and suddenly find yourself immersed in the soul's memory. The shock hits you with an almost physical force. Your heart hammers within your chest. Other Pargrunen rush past you, retreating or attacking. It's gotten hard to tell. You're running along a dark tunnel, pushing your overtaxed body as fast as it will go. Your heart pounds harder with each step. Concussive thumps echo above you. Each one seems to resound in your heaving chest. You pass the mines and reach the main hall. It's packed full of shouting, shoving, panicking dwarves. Even if you could reach the door at the other end without getting trampled or beaten to death first, something in the fever of the crowd tells you it's already locked. The tunnel behind you rings with screams. You had another dial for the door to the forge below, but it's locked in the workshop, and the other side of the barricade. The sounds of battle grow closer. You race to the mines, ignoring the building pressure in your chest. You scurry deeper into the mines, losing track of your path. The tunnels seem to close around you. You stumble and fall. You try to pull yourself up, but your arm is dull with pain, even though you've stopped. You can't quite catch your breath. For the first time, you notice a squeezing agony in your chest. Darkness gathers around you. So did this person just have a heart attack? We have concussive thumps above us. So yeah, there was a crowd. People were trying to get away, but the door was locked. They were trampling each other. So maybe he was trampled to death, or maybe he just had a heart attack because of the fright. Take the key. You push the bones aside and grab the key. As you do, you hear screams of horror and fury. The dead of Durgan's battery converge on you, their unnatural teeth and claws bared. Yep. Spectre, Wraith, Spectre.
Dead on.
All right, then.
So I wonder if the other group that I was noticing lingering about, I wonder if they're going to attack us now too.
Brave now. I have them.
I wonder if this is good, like they're sending them back to the wheel, or I wonder if it destroys the souls. I'm not sure. Does it say something about that in the bestiary entry? It doesn't say anything about what happens when they die. When they die as wraiths.
Stop her!
Looks like we explored thoroughly over here. Maybe there's something over here, though. And I know that now we have the key to unlock the door to the workshop.
Oh, the Forge Guardians!
The Forge Guardians.
Let's see what lies this way.
I wonder if the Forge Guardians kind of started running amok and that's what's attacking them here. That would make sense. Hubris leading to their destruction. A heavy bronze suit appears to have been ripped apart, its pieces scattered across the floor. Same thing. To seek the White Forge in the north. That's it, huh?
Let us in! They're coming!
Okay, I got 2 keys. Let me take a look at these. We have the workshop key. The stamped engraving on this iron key is largely obscured by rust. You can just barely make out what may be a hammer. And we just got this key, rune engraved copper key. Despite the layer of green rust that covers the surface of this key, you can still distinguish elaborate runes adorning its bow. And bore our parents east. Okay, so this is some kind of puzzle, I guess. A cold wind from the south reached Old Balia in the west. Okay, so we'll come back to that. Oh, this is the key that we just found.
Blasphemy!
Okay. That doesn't look good. The sword wielded by the suit of armor is covered in fine detail work, far more intricate than that of the armor itself. A circular depression carved into the stone sits below the relief of a dwarven warrior. The armor-clad figure is charging ahead against an unseen enemy. Inspect the stone carving. 3 holes puncture the bottom of the circular depression. Their edges seem worn, as if something had scraped against them. Above the depression, a dwarf appears ready to charge, holding a shield low and a sword high. Okay, so we have the option to insert the sigil of the helm that we found a little bit ago into this, but let's go see what this one says. Yeah, okay, so it seems like there's 3 different sigils to enter here. This is the sword, this is the armor, facing behind a broad shield, thick and sturdy, and then this. Despite the years of weathering, where the helmets on the other armors in this room are plain and lusterless, this one is brighter and more reflective. So this is the shield. Okay. So we have to find the other sigils. Let's see what this is all about. So we have White Forge in the north. Oops. Old Valia in the west. Cold Wind in the south. Parents to the east. As you approach the door, you notice a round depression within the surrounding frame. The molding around the depression is elaborately carved, with a row of foreign symbols lining the topmost edges of the circle. Examine the socket. The depression is about 3 finger widths deep, with a few small stone fragments jutting out from within the wall. Some pieces seem to rotate independently along the slots, but they have no obvious effect in and of themselves. So we have to find something else for this. The dial needed to open the way down is locked in the workshop. I found the remains of the old dwarf who left it there. Okay, so to the workshop. We explore. It looks like everything else is explored here. Yep.
Pargrunen fire casts light in dark places.
There's some giant ice trolls, huh? Just one giant ice troll and winter wolves. How do they get down here?
I'll see what I can find.
This map of the mines. This is a map of the mines, but various tunnels and choke points have been marked off with arrows and X's. It looks like a hasty battle plan.
Of course.
See now what the flame.
These scrolls catalog quantities of ore and minerals taken from the mines. Exceptional pistol and the sigil of the sword. So that's the second sigil. So we have a shield sigil and a sword sigil now. We have a tempered helm. This helm is dented and scratched. It looks like it's seen plenty of rough use. It's comfortable enough, but when you put it on, you feel a powerful rage start to ascend on you. So it seems powerful, but then it says -5 deflection for 20 seconds per kill. Maybe I'll rest now. A freezing draft filters through the collapsed wall. It looks as if something broke through from the outside. So that would be where they came from. And this is the stone dial. This thick circle of dark stone is intricately engraved with various strange symbols. A small stone protrusion rises from the center to the outer edge, pointing outward. Okay. Okay, I want to see. This is what I want to do.
Got an arrow for this. Got an arrow for this one.
All right then.
Why did she run up to him to shoot him? That doesn't make any sense to me.
You're not getting through me. Leave it to me.
That's not very helpful.
See, this is what I wanted to avoid.
Leave it to
Alright, let's remind ourselves here. White Forge north, Old Valia west, Cold Wind south, Parents east. So, White Forge, Old Valia, Cold Wind, Parents. Place the stone disc in the socket. At first, the disc does not seem to fit until it is oriented in a specific way. You hear a quiet click of casings as it sinks into place. Nothing appears to happen right away, however. On the disc itself, an arrow-shaped protrusion points north. So north was the White March. What's pushing it do? The dial spins out of your hand. It makes a complete revolution and rises, so that it's flush with the rings once more. It comes to a rest with the arrow pointing north. So you have to get the right order. Okay. A cold wind from the south reached Old Valia in the west and bore our parents east to the White Forge in the north. So that's what it is. So it's south, west, east, north. You press the disc. As the arrow points south, you feel a satisfying thunk and notice that the dial has sunk a fraction of an inch into the depression. The door is still locked, but this feels like a step in the right direction. Okay. Now I'm south, so I want to turn it clockwise. Feel another thunk and find the dial is recessed further into the stone rings. Now we want to go east. You press the disc as the arrow points east. After another small thud, the dial sinks a hair lower into the stone molding. The change is almost too small to see, but it seems to indicate progress. And then finally, you press the disc as the arrow points north. So, before we open this here, this seems to be what kind of drove them to the White Forge in the first place, the Pargrunen Dwarves. A cold wind which blew from the south to the west in Old Valia, so maybe they come from Old Valia, and that forced them to travel east and eventually arrive at the White Forge in the north. So maybe that's the history of the Pargrunen Dwarves and how they reached this Durgan's battery in the first place. You press the disc as the arrow points north. At first, nothing seems to happen, but after a few seconds have passed, the disc recedes deeper into the socket. You hear a clunk and a rattle of chains, and the door nearby swings open. The way is clear. Okay.
Margrin's fire casts light in dark places.
Have we not explored up here? Ah, there we go.
Not a sound.
An empty minecart sits at the mouth of this tunnel. Waiting to be uploaded with ore. Despite the condition of some of the surrounding tunnels, this cart and the tracks beyond appear to be intact. There is a lever at the base of the tracks. Look inside the cart. The cart is empty, if dusty and patchy with rust, and large enough that a group of kith might fit inside comfortably. You want to walk away from that, but remember that that's there. And then we have this, so that's it. So we still need that third sigil. Hopefully I didn't miss it on this floor somewhere. The first two are on this floor. Yeah, I can't see anything that I didn't explore yet, so we'll keep exploring and hopefully remember that later. Alright, let's head down below. Continue past the mines. Now it's time to find the White Forge.
I shall be quiet as a calm,
Major adventure added.
which is not very quiet.
Several skeletons have been laid alongside one another. Their legs and ribs are broken, but dented Abaddon statuette has been left amongst them. Huh. I wonder if we can see that. I don't see the dented Abaddon statuette.
Together. We're in this together.
So they retreated away from the mines, down below. They're still worried that they're going to be caught.
I'll organize the troops to guard the stairs. We can hold them off for a while.
Vazo's repairing the Guardians. Elune's preparing for the...
You can't be serious about this. Let's just wait those monsters out. Abaddon wouldn't let us...
Abaddon rewards earnest work, not begging and cowering. We must hurry.
So even with whatever this threat was, it seemed like they were in disagreement about how to deal with it. Some people wanted to power up the Forge Knights. Is it the Forge Knights? the Guardians, the Forge Guardians, and it seems like some people just want to hide and wait it out.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea, which is not very quiet.
Arm yourselves, soldiers!
Oh, these are actually locks that I can't pick. Something pulled this construct apart like a child's toy. So the Forge Guardians...
We'll give ourselves for the battery. The records are here. Keep searching.
Is this safe, Curate Loon?
They didn't say. Curate Alun responded, no, it's necessary. Curate Alun, maybe that was the fourth person at the table on the first floor that I didn't know who that was and hadn't spoken. So they're searching for some kind of records while this attack is happening. Torn scrolls and books with broken spines litter the floor below the shelves. And these records were important enough to put their lives in danger to find them. Mantle of Breathing Flame. No lore attached to that. Then we have the Annals of the Pargrunen. It was in the time of Edrahil, the sure-footed, that we came to Cleoban Rilag, an ancient place of the builders, as the locals call them. It was a marvelous sight, a door in the mountain framed by a pair of ghoulish aspects. Through some exercise of trickery or cunning, Edrahil was able to gain access for our scholars that we might observe and record what lay within, what lay inside. We discovered a foundry of sorts, the like of which neither we nor our distant brethren had seen. Through careful observation, we surmised that the ancients had used this place to extract souls and transfer them to suits of armor. Delicate and challenging work, yet the scale they had achieved left us humbled and astounded. So they found Cleoban Rilag, which is where we went during the former game, and that was where all those pillars were, and it seemed like they were making the Onomats there. So it seems like they were kind of inspired by those Onomats. Perhaps most remarkable were the golems, living suits of armor powered by essence. We lost 2 of our fellows when the creatures caught us unawares. But once we'd subdued them, they proved quite fascinating, all too aware that our hosts would never again allow us nor other curious travelers to visit this place. We took meticulous notes and measurements of all we saw, forsaking bread and sleep until the work was done. We reported all to Edrahil, whereupon he praised our work and urged us quickly forward. For if such a place lay abandoned in the forest, who can say what other mysteries gods and kiths have left in this strange and wild land?
The fire shows me something new.
Some scrolls. Ancient scrolls have been yanked out of the shelves and left on the floor. Pargrunen histories lie open and abandoned. Some are missing pages. So are they just looking for... what did it say they were looking for? Records? Were they just looking for their history so that people wouldn't forget the Pargrunen Dwarves? Is that all it was? Did Curate Alun know that they weren't going to make it? Okay.
Not getting...
Forcing me to fight in choke points.
You're not getting through me.
Laying low.
I can do that. That's settled.
Star-patterned crack radiates at the center of this table as if a hammer or a mace smashed it. A pair of skeletal hands protrudes from beneath it.
You're not getting through me.
That's it!
Leap!
Quietly now.
And the fire shows me
That's our
something
best armors. They must stand up to the heat.
Right away, Master Vassal.
They must stand up to the heat. Cracked skulls and splintered bones lie in a jumble. Most of the remains have been ground into dust. These pliers, rocks, and awls were made for shaping metal. Dried blood flakes off them like rust. We got an armory key. The stamped engraving on this iron key is largely obscured by rust. You can just barely make out what may be a sword. Hammer and chisel.
Before. A simple test. I can do that. That's settled.
An Adra sphere. This sphere has been shaped from a solid piece of Adra. It is covered in intricate, stylized etching to give it the appearance of an eye. That's a, that unlocks something. Let's see if that key we just got was this door over here. A hole bores into the stone. Its edges are blackened and gritty with soot. Okay, nice.
I shall be discreet.
Wasn't much in there.
We'll hold them off as long as we can.
Some people stood their ground. Something pulled this construct apart like a child's toy. What is this? I feel like they're supposed to be able to do something with this down here. Maybe that's just part of the armor. This wall was a yard thick and solid stone, yet something broke through it. Yeah. Something like burrowed through that or something. Oh, Stormcaller. Does it add to the story every time I do something? I don't know. Next step is to rest in the lair of the Storm Dragon. Sky Dragon, I'm sorry. That's Hylia's roost there, so we'll have to head there after we get out of here. So let's see. The last words here are Stormcaller and became a fisherman. So let's see if that's the same last words, and I will read the entire thing when we finish up, if that's the case. Because I know I read that when I picked it up, but now I'm thinking maybe it adds as we complete the tasks that we have to do. This globe is marked with various Pargrunen settlements around Aora.
I can do that. That's settled.
The corners of this tablet are chipped, but it's otherwise in good condition. It reads, "We plant ourselves in a strange and wild land, but remember well our roots. Though we are distant, know us still as kin. Meditate on those who came before you, and those who go beyond you. Remember first your father, and last your younger brother, but know all Pargrunen as kin." The letters on this tablet are crisp and deep, as if chiseled recently. They read, "Though our towers of stone are surrounded by gates of coral, we are Pargrunen still. Write our names in your halls and your hearts." Cracks snake around this stone tablet. The edges have been worn smooth over centuries of handling. It reads, "We who stand shoulder to shoulder alongside the oldest of Kith empires send you forth. Honor us as we remember you." Okay. Seems like some kind of puzzle here, probably tied to this globe, but this is closing in on an hour, so we'll have to save this puzzle for next session. As always, thank you so much for joining me. We are continuing our exploration of Durgan's Battery. We are on the 3rd floor. We did I forget what the top was called. Then we went through the mines, and now we are in the Foundry. So I hope you join me for the next one. That would be session 11. Thank you, as always, for joining me for our session 10. Please let me know if you have any questions, comments, those kinds of things. I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you in the next session. Bye, everybody.